I'm Victoria, and we have Stephan here today from South Africa. And Stephan has a really interesting story because he's not actually in the city that his cleaning company is, nor is he even in the country where his cleaning company is. So Stephan in South Africa runs a cleaning company in Tennessee. So Stephan, tell us how you ended up even discovering that you could run a cleaning company from a totally different country.
Hey Vic, yeah. So I think it started out with, most people discovering Rowan's post, but I discovered it like 12 years ago and ignored it. And I think the technology and tech wasn't as user friendly back then. So essentially, I saw Rowan, actually had some Reddit chats with him back then, and went on and started another business, also inspired by Rowan, and then essentially continued, ran that business for a few years, got stuck in a corporate job, and then eventually, went back and like, what's happened to Rowan? I remember like Maids in Black, like what was that? Is that still alive? And as it may be, like I think some point last year as well, early the year, he made another follow-up Reddit post on his subreddit, and still running and still going. And I think tools and tech sort of enabled me to get this going. So I started out and had a look at. I think he also pointed to the 21-day YouTube course was held in Jan, and I sort of started binging that and catching up what I needed to know.
Amazing. Okay, so for anybody who's watching who are like, who's Rohan? What are these ways he's talking about? Rohan Gilkes, Gilkes, wrote a post on Reddit over 10 years ago, 12 some odd years ago, about how to start a cleaning company remotely, build it to $1 million or beyond. And that went viral. You can still find it today. Loads of people still follow it. And then eventually Rohan and Kevin invited us to start this YouTube channel. The rest is history. That's amazing. So I love that 12 years ago, you're sitting down being like, oh, this is really cool. How's this guy doing this? And then flash forward 2024, you decide to start your cleaning company. Is that right?
Yes. Last year.
Yeah. And what was you said you started another business and then you took a corporate job. Can you give us a little bit more detail there?
Yes. So at the time, I basically finished varsity university and essentially got to start my formal work and job. And I thought this, entrepreneurship stuff is actually not growing. So I just started working, and eventually, as I'm in data analytics and sort of been my entire career as well.
Oh, interesting.
Formerly in business intelligence, and so like a lot of data driven stuff has been driving me as well. And and I think the one aspect also is like the side hustle could be run after hours, so essentially time zone differences work quite well for me. So essentially summertime 9 to 4 o'clock in the afternoon works like almost opposite hours for me. It's like 4 o'clock my time till 9 and 10 p.m. My time. So
interesting. So you work your day job, and then 4 o'clock hits your time, and that's 9 a.m. in Tennessee. So you're like, okay, now I can answer the phone for my side hustle. That's really
no interruptions, no taking phone calls during the workday and stuff. So it works quite well.
That's a really good point, because that is one of the number one issues for people that have jobs, especially those that we have people in our community that are in healthcare, for example, and they can't, drop the patient and be like, hang on, I'm getting a booking for a cleaning, And so it's really challenging, especially when it comes to growth. Like they can get it going and they can do maybe a couple grand, but they can't really grow. It's just more challenging until they get their systems in place or leverage AI. But in your case, leveraging time zone difference is really smart. And so with your data analysis, is that why you chose Tennessee?
Sort of. It is. So I'm specifically in the Tri-Cities. So it's like three small cities close to each other. I think collectively, like they're like 200,000 people,
Okay.
and within 30 minutes from each other. And then the other advantage I had is I actually have a cousin who actually went to study in tennis close by,
Okay.
and I knew, right, might need someone to help me out on the ground at points in time to say, right, there might be things to do. And they actually do. He's a student there, and sometimes actually helps out with cleaning or maybe Google or something else.
So he has been able to help you
Yes.
locally. Okay. So that's smart too. So you didn't just choose a random location. You knew somebody there. And then walk us through, I guess from the beginning, like, because we're all about local, right? So Jen and I, with our company, Oak Bay Clean, we live in Oak Bay. So it's a lot easier when it comes to Google going, hey, these guys are legit. They're there. They can tell from our phones, from our computers, from our iPad, like everywhere we are, Google knows where we are. And in your case, being in South Africa, I know that's going to be your number one hurdle. But even just from like registering the company, like I know nothing about this. And I know we have an audience here on YouTube that follows us from other countries like India or Australia or New Zealand or, wherever. And obviously the US is, money. And I imagine that was why you made that decision, is so that you can convert US dollars to Rand. But also how to set up a company. Like, I don't think anybody can do this as easily in Canada where I am. I don't think you can be in India and just be like, I'm going to start a cleaning company in Victoria in British Columbia, Canada. But you could do it from South Africa in the States. So can you help us understand how?
Yes. So as a non-US resident, it's quite easy to register an LLC in the States. So you sort of go through the same, what was it, BizInc, same companies that you follow to register. The only difference is when I actually tried to get my EIN number from the IRS, I have to wait a long time for that. So literally, when you, as a non-resident, apply, you have to like pick up the phone and phone them and follow up, and every week, and like by month 2, they find like, all right, your thing is registered, and now you actually have a identification number for your company. And that's sort of the magic thing. Once you have that, you can do everything else. So sort of that takes about 2 months to get. So you sort of start out.
Yeah. But you'd already waited 12 years. So
Yeah.
what's 2 months?
Exactly.
Does that mean you pay taxes in the States?
Don't quote me. I'm not a tax expert, but so local state taxes, yes.
Okay.
Not federal taxes.
Okay. And that's what the EIN number, it's for the IRS to say this is a company that's allowed to operate in the United States, correct?
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Same thing. You need to register your Stripe account and your bank accounts and all of that as well.
So you can't really.
That's the magic number, right?
Right. And then, so once you have that, then you try to, like, could you build a Yelp page? Could you?
Yes, exactly. So then, like, between open phone as a local number, having a Yelp page, and then I think the other bit that helped me out is previously, like in South Africa, I've had a good Google profile. So my Google profile has been able to excel, like, in that sense. So a lot of local reviews, international reviews. Whenever I traveled, I've reviewed stuff across the world. So that helps quite. So to get that local guide levels up helps a lot. So it actually builds up quite a lot of authority. And then I have about 2 or 3 of these accounts of mine that are good authority. So it helps out. So I think that's one of the traps that people starting out, like, they create a fresh account, a fresh Google email, and now they try and create a Google business page, and then they get suspended immediately because it's like you've got no trust. So
You've got no history, and Google knows where you are and what you're doing. And they're like, okay, whatever, you're trying something, you're probably going to shut it down tomorrow, which, to be fair, happens a lot. We've seen that where people start something and they think, oh, this is going to be easy. And then they hit roadblocks and they realize, like anything in life, there's ups and downs to this business. And so you either kind of ride the waves of entrepreneurship and you get through it, or you quit. And Google knows that. Right. And so a lot of people start these companies and then shut down. So to be fair, like it's very difficult to get a Google page listed these days. This brings me to what you shared in our community. So I'm going to share my screen here because I think it will really help people to see your journey. So for anybody who doesn't know what I'm talking about, we use Convert Labs, which is a software that helps us with our businesses. So it's basically our booking software, it's our website, it's our scheduling for the cleaners, it's everything. But it also includes a community. And the community, I'll put this banner up so that you know it's right there. Our community is free to join once you sign up for Convert Labs. And this is where Stephan shared his wins. So on the left-hand side of the community, we've got share your wins. And so Stephan shared this recently where he was sharing, how it went. And I love the transparency of this. And this is why I reached out to you, Stephan, to say like, hey, let's jump on a hot seat call. Because you talked about, the legal hurdles, building trust, but also on Google Business. And then you mentioned you finally got it verified, then suspended twice. And one of the things that I've seen you do over the last year of knowing you is you share a lot with people. People in the community will post something, in the community, and they'll say like, hey, I'm, struggling with my Google My Business. So I'm going to just do a quick search here, Google My Business, and we'll see. I'm doing this live, so who knows if this is actually going to work. But yeah, there's 52 posts of people saying like, hey, I've got suspended. Like, Google restricted me, blah, blah, blah. And, you often jump in and help them. So I've always really appreciated it. But I wanted to just say, walk us through what happens when you get shut down by Google. Your business essentially becomes invisible in your location in Tennessee. So what did you do?
Yeah, so starting out, I knew sort of the hurdles that Google will bring on. So how I listed my business was as an outsider, sort of added a missing business to the map and not immediately saying this is my business. So I just go and say, right, add missing business, you sort of add the details, add the website. And it's important from that point on for everybody sort of like make sure your website's already being picked up by Google. You've done your submissions to like Search Console, and you've done a few directories as well. Do a Yelp and something else. So there's actually some record, and then you actually just add it as a missing business on Google, and then you sort of wait for it to mature a little bit, and then you get reviews on the unverified business. So it's there, and you can start getting reviews on it. And so, essentially you grow it from there. And then once you're ready to claim it, you go through the business verification. And if you're lucky, my first time went through and I got email verification. So
easy.
Just had to do the code, send back the code, and was done. And then all went well around, and that's another bit, critical bit is for the local services ads, because obviously that's I feel 90% of all the cleaning companies, it's like, well, our community's cleaning companies use service ads to get their new business, right?
Yeah.
So for that, I did actually get someone local in Tennessee to help me out with it, because the Google verification process is actually not set up for a foreigner to apply. You have
It
to have
really
a
isn't.
number.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
did they make that person do a video with their phone showing this is where the location is?
No. It was
Okay.
just purely just submit the documents, do the normal things. I added them to the business profile that's verified, and that's sort of relatively simple. So it is possible, and so I think even if I would do it again, I'll still do it in a area where I might have someone to help out, or maybe go the paid route. Like get someone to help you out on it.
Yeah. Yeah. Bring in a business partner that's actually a genuine
Yes.
partner, or a manager of your business that lives locally. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Exactly. Yeah, that's sort of the business, and then somewhere around April this year, it got suspended again, and it
Did they
took
say
then
why?
like no reason. Like it's always just this generic. You're
Yeah.
not following the community guidelines, or
I
and
wonder what
then
you
I
did.
engaged with a few Google product help experts on the Google support or Google My Business support forum. You share all of your documents with them, and they start like going through it, and it's like, okay, what might be the reason? And
Mm,
it's like, okay, maybe it's a naming convention, or like, yeah, sort of, Google doesn't really know, or Google doesn't let you really know what the
no,
problem is,
no.
and they don't
They
want to
just,
spend that effort basically to tell you exactly what's the issue.
yeah. Yeah. It's all bots now anyway, right?
Yes,
Like it's
yes.
not a human being making that
But
decision.
it's not a business generating thing for them, so they don't just like they just manage and maintain it. And eventually got to do the whole process again. And like because 2 weeks after that, your local service ads then shuts down as well. So
So that
that's related.
means your leads stop, because not only are
Yes,
you not on Google in terms of just a general search for a cleaning company in that area, you also aren't doing pay per lead, which is actually
yes.
how Google makes a lot of money off of local businesses. So then what
Yeah.
do you do?
And so then they also remove your phone number from your Google listing as well.
Mhm.
So people can literally just go to your website and then contact you from there. Um, then I relax and sort of calm down around the process. Like I said, I'm not financially independent from this business yet, so I can actually just like let it grow slowly. I think
Mm,
going the SEO route is definitely the long-term sustainable route of like just getting yourself in the listings, um, without needing to pay for ads, without needing to, sort of. So those investments actually feel like pay off a lot more. Like spend the money initially on SEO stuff and
mm.
local backlinks, and those things keep on paying back. If you run ads, as soon as you switch them off, they stop earning you money.
Yep.
So
You're
definitely,
focused on organic long-term growth, and you,
mm,
you still have customers, you have cleaners, like it's not
yes,
dead, it's still going, right? And are they
yes.
mostly recurring clients? So that's how you're able to like cover your costs while you're in this Google limbo?
Yes, so I've got a few recurring clients, a few bi-weekly, monthly clients, and then the movie and clean still happen to come in. So people still find the website, log, submit,
Mhm.
and continue from there. I think that sort of gave me confidence that you actually don't need it really. It will boost your business a lot, like supercharge your business to have it,
Yeah.
but you can still survive and continue to grow. I mean, there's other people who just grow from Facebook pages and Yelp pages without any Google pages. So there's ways.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
people in our neighborhood. There's a new cleaning company that just popped up. They've got their car wrapped, and and they're now being nominated for local awards. And I can see, like, I'm like, oh, they're hustling, they're trying. They haven't found this channel, so they don't know that they're wasting money on things they don't need to spend money on, but they're still out there doing it. And I see them. I see them with their supplies. I'm like, all right, you got cleaners working. Good for you. You're doing it the hard way, but you're still doing it. So the old school methods still work. It's just time and patience. Can we talk a little bit about what it means to you being in South Africa and the exchange rate? Because I know, oh, sorry, that's my open phone going. This is I'm going to send into voicemail. You're seeing it live, people. I'll do a little segue there. Jen and I are now billing $92K this month, Canadian. I don't know what that is in US, but whatever. And so this entire month, I've stopped answering the phone, and it's been glorious because I'm just tired of it. It's July, it's summer, we're having our best month ever, and I'm just like, if they can't book online, I probably don't want to talk to them. So anyway, that's my little segue. Good for us. And that's just patience. We haven't done anything different than what we coach on this channel. It's just patience and time and long game. And the SEO stuff, like we were talking about, for Jen has really kicked in. So she met Daniel on this channel less than a year ago. He taught her what to do. Anybody watching this, you can go back and find that video. And she applied everything he said to do. That's it. We didn't hire an SEO expert. We're now #1 in our city. We just did what Daniel told us to do. It truly is as simple as that. Anyway, so let's talk exchange rate. So $1,000, let's say, you're probably really good at this, or $100 US dollars. What does that mean for you in Rand? And then what does that buy you, I guess? So for those of us who aren't there, I know it's going to be some crazy number, but like, what does it mean for cost of living, I guess, is my question.
So to give you guys an idea, I think around so $10,000 instance. So if I my target is essentially to get to $10,000 a month revenue and take home 4,000.
Amazing.
That's the equivalent of earning, I would say, the calculations I did is essentially equivalent of earning about $150,000 in the US a year.
Oh my God, you're going to be so rich. That's great.
So that's the equivalent, right? So, yeah.
And right now, how much are you billing?
Monthly around 3,000, going just above and below it every month. For this year, basically 12,000 or so.
Okay, so not much, but
not
you
much,
can,
no.
But you can see the has it gone you've got suspended twice, so that's hard because you can't really go like this at if you picture this as your bar chart,
yes.
Which would have your ups and downs. Yours probably went like
flat and then up and then flat. Yeah. So I think on the community I share, there's literally, it started because I, started up in Jan again, ads running, can easily do a few thousand in a month. And then once the ad, the local service ads drops, especially in the beginning, it's such a big portion of your new business. So
I'll share the screen so that because I've got it right here. If you're okay with me just sharing it, because you're so transparent with your numbers. It's so great. So you started May 2024. Let me add this.
That's when you created a website and essentially applied for my LLC.
And then it took the whole summer, right? So yes. May till September. Then you've got your first booking. Great. 550 in revenue. That's probably like a move in, move out or something, right?
Yes, yeah.
You don't get verified until October.
Sort of testing out. Didn't have Google local service ads back then, so we're running Google search ads, normal. I spend quite a lot on different ad platforms, testing out what would work, what doesn't work, and service, Google ads, local service ads, Facebook ads, or Meta as well, Yelp ads as well. None of it really gained a lot of traction. But if there was a bonus, I would claim it and sort of continue from there, test it out at least.
Yeah, Yelp got me, I think, 3 times with we'll give you $300 if you spend $300 or something like that. And I kept getting suckered by it. And we found the same thing. We didn't make any money off of it. There's one member in our community who is crushing it on Yelp. So, for anybody watching it, whenever we say this didn't work for me, you really have to test it for yourself.
Yes.
Because in your local area with your messaging, you just don't know until you test it. And pretty collectively, I think we'll all agree that Google Local Services is the best out of all of them, except for if you're in a location where they're charging you $80 a lead. Because there are some very competitive locations like New York City, for example. Those, I would argue, $80 a lead, it's probably still worth doing if you can get them to be recurring. But if it's a cheap move out, that might hurt you. Okay, so then you're closed for the holiday. You've got LSE activated, and then boom, 2,000. Like that's a big job, especially for South Africa. Like that's real money now, right?
Yes, exactly.
And then in March,
it went well. And then essentially, early April got suspended again, and sort of stagnant. And then, like I said, I sort of relaxed around it. You feel a lot of, you feel like the local service ads is like a crutch eventually. You feel like you can't breathe without it. So actually letting go of it and just continuing by myself was actually quite a relief as well, and sort of getting confidence that the system in the long term will work. Just continue with it.
That's exactly it. These are all systems, right? And it's long term. You're going to be at 10K by next year for sure. I can't wait till you reach 20 and 30 because that's real. Like there's no reason you won't. And I mean, listen, Google is still relevant with AI right now, but things are changing really fast in terms of Google having the authority that we've all relied on for so long. So we'll see where we're at in a year. And then I want to show this map here. So your business is over here, I imagine, the number ones.
It's actually located in the center, but it ranks for all of those areas. So almost just in the center there, yeah.
Interesting. So this is your search engine optimization work, right? This is you making sure that you're getting mentioned locally by local businesses. And then the surrounding areas, you're not doing so hot, but that's probably fine. You don't necessarily want those areas, right? Because your cleaners only want to travel
the extra motivation that I got over the holiday season is the number one cleaning company sort of post their year-end review over this in early Jan, and basically said they made for last year 2024 they made $1.2 million dollars in revenue. And they're killing it. They've got 400 reviews, and so they're far ahead of everyone. So they're doing well. But anyway, there was just extra motivation knowing that it's fine. The market is there. The market is fine. People are paying for it, and it's just that the competition is there as well. So growing and growing long term, and the fact that I'm actually getting places where I'm ranking is showing that they've actually stopped doing what they're supposed to do to sort of keep on growing their business.
Isn't that wild, right? And that happens to everyone. I'm doing it. I'm getting lazy. I don't answer the phone anymore. What we coach here on Cleaning Company Blueprint, if you want to be competitive with other cleaning companies, the number one thing you need to do is answer the phone, because this is what happens. We stop answering the phone. So that one with 400 reviews, here's the other thing that happens with that. Because you're showing up organically, people who have already been with that cleaning company, they're going to start calling the new guys, right? And this happened to us our first year. We would get, people saying, I've been with the same cleaning company for 6 years. My cleaner just left. They sent me a new cleaner. I'm not as in love with them. So I thought this was an opportunity to try out someone different. So that's going to happen to you as well. And that's where you'll get your good recurring clients from.
Yeah, it happens. And I think sort of in the community as well, you go around pricing, and I think stick to your price and, sort of be consistent around price. And I'm fairly similar priced towards the number one company as well. So
yeah,
just continue with it.
That's it. Just continue. And then imagine your life in a year or two. You'll be able to quit your day job, I'm sure. Is that the goal? Yes. The ultimate goal is to have total time freedom?
Time freedom, yes, eventually. But as I said, like I'm not in a rush to get there, and I think that sort of takes a lot of pressure off the cleaning business in the immediate to supply. And I think I would really, for aspiring owners, like if you have that luxury, do it in the slow, sort of steady way, build out the foundations. And I think early on I had a chat with Tommy from the community as well, and similar, like I sort of got that. It's like, not too much worried about like growing a major business immediately. Just like build it out naturally.
That's so great. It's funny when you said you said a comment, and I was like, oh, it sounds so much like Tommy. So for anybody watching, we have a hot seat call with Tommy somewhere in the channel. You can find it. He also has a good day job. He doesn't hate his job. He doesn't need to make a lot of money tomorrow. He built this business as a side hustle, very similar to Stephan, and doesn't want it to take over his life. And he's learned a lot, and he's steady. He's also not taking a lot of clients that he doesn't want to take. Immediately he gets those little red flags. And for those of us, when we first started, money, and you've got cleaners that, hey, I need more work. And you feel like, oh my God, like I have to help feed their kids. I better take this terrible job, and you can choose not to. You can say no. You can say, actually, we're not the right company for you. And that is, for people that have day jobs, Monday to Friday, 9 to 5s, it's a really great thing to do because you don't have space in your life for that extra stress.
Yeah, exactly. And it just simplifies. And I think the long-term rewards of like just building out a website and a lot of good backlinks and SEO, and like it rewards in the long term. I really, really can't stress that enough. That's my latest aha moment.
That's great. And do you think you're going to open up another cleaning company in the States, or do you think you'd try in another country? Or
definitely, I was thinking about it. I asked the question on the community as well, sort of seeing where I can get connections sort of locally as well. Maybe looking at partnering with people who are somewhere as well, partnering up and sort of just building out what it is. Sorry.
Oh, you're getting an open phone call?
Yeah.
You can take it if you want. This is you making money, man. You can answer it. We'll just all watch you work.
It's good. It's good. So I think sort of growing out slowly, maybe like expanding, I think you guys sort of set the example as well, and other services. What else is there to do? Sort of, still sort of figuring out what's the right playbook with the website, sort of, because the original website builds such a strong trust and brand around it that not sure if you want to leverage it. Maybe I'll just do it for a test and see what it is, 6 months time down the line where it ranks.
And there's so many locations in the US that are these smaller locations like what you've chosen, where there's only 200,000 people. You do have some pretty strong competition with one cleaning company having 400 reviews. You could choose another location that has around the same population size, 200K, but there's nobody with 400 reviews. And I know for a fact, like there's loads of them that are still out there, and you don't have to have the same branding, because let's face it, it's not a national brand. It's probably never going to be. And so you could, use our formula of the local geography and then the keyword. So Oak Bay clean, local, and like hyper local. Oak Bay is a small part of a bigger city, but it's the posh part of that bigger city. So you could use the exact same formula in some small city that just doesn't have this yet. And it just makes it easier, because nobody's got online booking in those areas.
I think it's a year later since I started originally. And, I think it's actually quite such an easy test to do as well. Like it almost costs nothing to get a website up and running and have it running for 12 months as well.
Yeah.
And you build that authority out.
Yeah, I think that's really great. Another good angle for you could be so to go back to your thing about finding someone in the community, we have a couple of nurses that live in 2 different cities, and they found each other through the YouTube channel and through the community. And now they're running a business together, and I think they try to have different shifts somehow, so that, you know, when one's working, the other one can be on the phone or whatever. I thought that was really smart. But for you, just having access to the community, you'd be able to say like, hey, does anybody already have a business that they're looking at franchising? And then you've got that local authority, and then you know, franchise one of their, right? Like copy, paste, repeat. But
Yes.
you know, there's so many opportunities there. I just think it's so cool that you're doing it from South Africa. And I just think it's so cool that 10 grand is 150. Like, what?
No,
So
like
much
it's
money.
just it's a different world, like in terms of value of money, right? Everything is a
Yeah.
lot more expensive in the US. So to sort of bring it out, there's a lot of benefits, tax benefits as well. Like I said, that's
Mm.
yeah, quite crazy for me as well.
So in terms of let's talk about things that are difficult. So we've got the Google thing, we've covered that. But what else has been difficult for you, like recruiting cleaners, talking to the, is there any cultural stuff where you're like, whoa, Americans are weird, or they think that of you? Or has it just kind of been smooth sailing that way?
No, it's definitely. I think the cleaner bit, like getting into the job market of cleaners, I could not understand like how many people apply for jobs and go through interview processes and not even pitch for test cleans. Like it is, yeah, it's astounding to me. Like, I mean, from coming from like a country that's like hardworking and people pitch up and work hard and do stuff, you know, like for a lot less. That like
Yeah, that would be a huge cultural difference because you're
it
dealing
is
with
like
also an age group difference too, right? Like you're, you know, you're dealing with probably younger demographics of people that are applying and haven't really worked real jobs yet.
it is a mix. I don't, like a mix, like parents, people with kids. It's really like astounding. Like people like say they want a job, they apply, they pass the background check,
And
like
then they
then
ghost
they
you.
just don't pitch up, or they don't pitch up to their first job, and they're like, okay, well, yeah, you did all this effort, and that's actually most frustrating. But
Yeah.
once you get great cleaners and sort of build out that network, I think that's sort of been my thing as well. Is that I've been using my cleaner network to build it out further. So as soon as they know someone they can trust,
Oh,
they
it's the best.
refer them for jobs as well. Like
Yeah.
that's um, it saved me on like all the interviews and recruiting and sort of going through that whole like just learning process. Um, yeah,
We've
so
started
definitely.
giving cleaners $100 bonus if they give us, you know, if they send us one of their friends that's a great cleaner. They have to have done, I think, 10 cleans with us, and then we pay out $100 bonus. We haven't actually gotten any great cleaners from it yet, but just having them know it, you know, and then they've sent us a couple, but they haven't been very good. But I like that concept of, you know, because otherwise I'd be giving that money to Indeed, you know, so I'd rather give
Exactly.
it to the cleaner. Yeah.
Yeah, other things I think what can I say, the marketing side of it, you know, you tend to overcomplicate it. Like, you know, I think what you said earlier, just go and test it. You know, put $200 in every channel of marketing and see what it does for you. And eventually you'll see one that works and what doesn't work, especially early on. That sort of gets you going, get you out the door, and sort of builds your trust in the model and sort of gives you a little bit of confidence to get going. Right? I think what you also mentioned earlier is like, yes, it was quite different to adjust to like the cultural aspects of it. I think Tennessee as well is like quite different in their stances as well. So it's like quite interesting to chat, you know, when you get I want to say like old guys phoning you and they get complaining about things, and you just sort of adjust with it, you know, not very appropriate, but it's sort of part of the culture in the area, you know.
Are they, excuse my ignorance here, this is how Canadian I am. Do they have like a strong Southern accent in Tennessee?
They do have some
Okay.
quite an accent, especially some of them. There's I think a lot of non-Tennessee people there, but you still get it quite a lot, especially the elder. Like once you get like to the 50, 60-year-olds who still like book and then you get to that. But I think as a South African, like my accent, I get a lot of questions, and it's like, okay, where are you from? Australia or UK? Or like they can't place it. So
and do you tell them I'm South African and I
yes,
live?
yes.
Like, are you transparent? Do you say I'm in South Africa, or do you make it seem like you're there?
No, it's just say I'm South African. I didn't say I'm not there. I just sort of
Yeah.
allude
Yeah.
to actually not say either of those. So, but yeah, they appreciate it, and I think like getting to understand the actual geographical area of the area that you're working with, so you can actually have these conversations and say, right,
Yeah.
it's up the road there, it's this, it's there, and start getting an idea of the local area. It's quite important as well.
And so you have Google open beside you, and you're literally like
yes, all the time, like Google, Zillow, and you're like, okay, this is there, okay, right,
I love it so much. I just think it's so funny that you chose Tennessee. Like out of all the locations in the US, anyone else would have been like, okay, I'm going to go for New York City or Los Angeles or whatever. And you're like, okay, I'm going for 200,000 people where I have a cousin, right there. And I'm going to learn it as I go, which, I mean, I don't know my local area. I know it a lot better now, though, from running the cleaning company, but I certainly didn't, I didn't know it until now, really. And doing the same thing you're doing, just looking on Google and going, oh yeah, okay, I can see you.
Exactly. And I think the whole sort of the model sort of stipulates, you go through the course, you're like, okay, don't go for too big cities or too much competition, and it's like, okay, that works. It's good as any. Doesn't matter actually.
And I would say don't do it in the beginning, but once you know what you're doing, go for it, because then like, my big thing with a place like New York City, newbies that haven't found this channel or haven't done enough research, they'll try to do all of New York City, and I'm always like, what are you doing? Like, how many people live there? Some ridiculous millions of people. Like, you don't, for our model, you only need about 100 recurring clients to bring in about $500,000 a year, right? So if you're following our like pricing or, just general ballpark numbers here, and it doesn't matter what your currency is, that's around $500,000, whatever your currency is. And, so why would you go after millions when you only need 100? Right?
Exactly.
So go for one small part and then look at the competition and go, okay, like, can I crush it in this area?
Yeah, and as we mentioned earlier, like what's actual advertising costs and just getting off the ground and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I think that's a big one. Actually, just trying to grow your business from early on. You're trying to outcompete a company that's already, and lots of companies spending lots of money in those high density areas.
And they're spending so much money on SEO services, which frankly are free if you just do it yourself. You just have to be patient, and it's boring. It is boring, boring, boring. It's not sexy, and that's why nobody does it. But once you figure it out, it's like, oh, okay, this is just consistent effort every day over time. That's it. That's the magic formula, folks. Yeah, it's actually really simple.
I mean, the irony, I do some blog posts that are trying to attract customers that sort of, in their interests. So I like do some for local dog groomers, for instance. And I like write a post around that. And I'm like, I get some people actually confuse me with a cleaning company for dogs. And like, okay, like, okay, that's working, but not exactly how I intended it. So I'm getting local traffic, but I think it's awareness anyway. So I'll keep on testing out these things, what could work, what doesn't work.
I'll tell you what I would do. Okay, two things that I'll add on to that. Number one, we did the exact same thing, and we talked about laundry services, and it was our mistake. On our website, we offer laundry for $25 a load. It's an add-on. It's not a separate service. It's an add-on to regular house cleaning. And Google somehow got into their head that we're a dry cleaner. And so we were showing up number one organically as the dry cleaner in our city. hey, can you wash my curtains? Can you do this? And we're like, oh. And it took us so long to kind of undo that damage. Because yes, it's good. People are calling, but they're not calling for cleaning services. It's totally different. Anyway, we still offer the laundry service, but somehow Google has figured it out. Like, we are residential house cleaning, primarily, 5% commercial cleaning. Anyway, the second thing I was going to say is what you could do. This is what I would do if I were starting today. Do you use AI? You must. You're a data guy.
Yes,
Okay. So I would do deep research on ChatGPT, and I would ask it to find out what are people talking about in your geographic location on forums like Facebook, Reddit, wherever people are, specifically about cleaning services for their home, and give me direct quotes. So don't modify the quotes, give me direct quotes. What are people saying about this issue? Then once the deep research comes back in like 10 minutes, we'll tell you exactly what people are talking about. Then I would write, again, using ChatGPT, but a customized one for my business that actually knows my language, and write the blog post speaking directly to those pain points. Definitely. And then boom, you have your, it's much better quality blog post writing when you're talking specifically to their pain points and the transformation you offer, as having a cleaning company that solves their exact problems. Anyway, that's what I would do. I think that would be really like an effective use of your limited time. But I'm a big fan of AI right now.
I think the time spent on this business is really I think effectively per week, answering and texting and scheduling cleanings is probably 2 hours a week. So it's not a lot.
That's really, so great.
That's
here
nothing. And there, pick up the phone, after work, pick up the kids, get a text, reply. It's very it's not really intensive in that sense.
That's amazing. Ash and Adam, who I did a hot seat call on here, talked about how, I asked them how many hours a week are you working? And they're like, well, all the time, but from the golf course, and it's like, yeah, that's exactly it. Like, you're always on. You've always got your phone on you. You're always paying attention to it. Like, I'll go sailing and I'll have my phone. I might not answer the phone because of the sound of the wind, but I will, say, oh, hey, I'm out of cell service right now. Can I just text you? And that's me working. So it's a very different life, isn't it?
It is very, very different. So, and that's why I said I'm quite relaxed, sort of just let it go and keep it on, nurturing it, let it grow, and it will grow by itself now. Just feed it.
It's amazing. Well, congratulations. I'm so excited for you. I do want to open it up to the community. If anybody here has any questions, please feel free to throw it in the chat, and we'll do our best to answer it. And then there's the link to join the community and get the software that we use. Do you have any questions for me?
For you, Vic, I think knowing sort of I think the only aspect in mind, obviously I'm limited around actually doing in-person things because I'm out of state. What would you do differently in terms of target? Would you just keep on targeting residential, seeing that commercial actually requires a lot of in-person, relationships as well?
It's actually funny. Commercial, and I'm going to assume this is the same in the States. In Canada, it's almost all done on the phone. So there's a lot of cleaning companies that will outsource the site visit. And so they'll book they're just calling, emailing, cold calling. And then they'll book a site visit, and then they'll call a local cleaning company and they'll say, hey, we'll pay you $50 to go do this site visit and report back to us. And then if you get the gig, you'll get the gig and we'll pay you whatever, right? And so we did that actually our first year for one company, and then they didn't pay their bills. They were super dodgy. I could tell that it was a virtual assistant overseas. And I was just like, man, I'll do this better locally. If I want to tackle commercial, I'll do it on my own. Oh, sorry. Now I have a cleaner emergency. 1 second. It's like inevitable that it'll happen while I'm live. I'm not making her. Okay, it's fine. Some cleaner drama. Anyway, so the commercial thing, I've done our own site visits, in person. I actually prefer residential in the long run over commercial. And the reason is quite simple. Residential pays immediately, and we don't have to wait for 30-day terms. We pay our cleaners same day. We're very proud of our cleaners, and we retain our cleaners longer than most cleaning companies in town. So we don't have a high turnover of cleaners. And the industry, to be fair, has a very high turnover, right? So when I say we don't have a high turnover, that is compared to other cleaning companies. And so that's because we're residential and we pay really high. So we pay 60% of every job goes directly to the cleaners. And for reference, that works out to be about $45 an hour on average. And the going rate in our city is about 22 for other cleaning companies. So we're paying double, almost double, or no, it is double what they would be getting if they worked for someone else. Now, they're self-employed. They have to pay their own taxes. They have to provide their own supplies. They have to choose ways they work, which clients they work with. This is all genuinely self-employed, independent contractor model. If I were to go commercial, I would be hiring people, that aren't independent contractors, because it's a full-time commercial gig, right? Like it would be Monday to Friday at the airport, for example. And then we have to provide the supplies. And I have to deal with, like now I'm dealing with health insurance. I'm dealing with higher taxes for both them and for us. And I'm dealing with the fact that they're not going to pay for 30 days after I've invoiced them, which would be at the end of the month. So we're talking 60 days out. And I'm just like, I don't like that model. If commercial finally started paying with Visa, MasterCard, Amex, then I'd be fine with it. We have one client right now that we're invoicing, and it's about $20K a month. And it kills us every month. We know it's coming, but it's so stressful because that's a lot of money.
Yes.
And if they go bankrupt, we're out $20K. They're not going to go bankrupt. It's a major tech company, and it's one of their founders. We all use these tools all the time. I'll tell you that. And they, we do the house cleaning for their second home. So yeah. So does it matter that I'm local? Not at all. Honestly, not at all. I did this from Chile for a month, and my clients and my cleaners had no idea I was abroad. Time zones were really similar. So work-wise, it was the same. But yeah, I think I would still stay with residential. It's just easier for hiring, and it's easier to pay people.
Yeah, it sounds like paperwork as well, like a lot less paperwork.
Yeah. And like, I'm not into cold calling. I'm into solving simple problems that people have locally. That's it. So like having to cold call and convince someone to be on a contract for 2 years, that sounds like work. And I know those 2 years are relatively easy compared to dealing with a homeowner that's complaining about the vacuum attachment that the cleaner used. That's what I had yesterday. Yeah. I'm like, really? You have time to care about what vacuum attachment they're using? And that's annoying, but it's nothing. My ChatGPT helps me write the response, so I emotionally don't care. In the same way.
I just want to get the voice agent up and running for that bit now. So you can
I can't wait. Have you tried using that yet?
Not for voice yet. I'm sort of building my own ChatGPT response for OpenPhone, sort of like not the Sono version, but my own version.
Yeah.
Sort of getting that up and running. Yeah, because my latest complaint was literally, lady phoned in around, like, it's like a first time cleaning, so it's slightly deep clean, and we'd spent small apartment, 700 square feet, quickly ran through it on a Saturday, 2 hours. And she's like, why did you guys only spend 2 hours? I'm like, but the job is done, right? And are you satisfied? Yes, everything is fine. Everything's perfect. But we didn't just pay for 2 hours. Like, she just couldn't grapple the fact that like this pay per package is like, no, can't pay a cleaner $70 an hour. Like, what? How? That's impossible. I don't want to pay that, but you did pay it, and you happy with the job. But like, it was such a strange complaint.
Can I ask you, approximately how old was that person?
Probably like 40, 50.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so Gen X. Usually that's a boomer complaint we find. That's interesting. That was a Gen X complaint. But that's interesting. Yeah. We get that a lot. We used to in the beginning. We don't anymore because I mostly have a way of kind of filtering those people out and explaining package or hourly. And so the minute they complain about time, I say, oh, so if time is more important to you, I'm happy to change it. It's a minimum 3 hours and it's $75 an hour. And then they do the math and they realize they're going to pay more because we've intentionally made it more. So if you care more about time, and then the second thing I do is I don't tell them this, but I send them the slowest cleaners we have. They don't care because they're getting 60%. So they're getting 45 an hour. Right. So that cleaner all of a sudden is actually doing really well on hourly. And I'm like, you can chat with them. You can have tea with them. Like, I don't care. Use that time however you need to use it because this person cares more about time. And it's just, it's a generation. It's typically a generational thing. It's because they're used to thinking. And to be fair, all of the cleaning companies in their city have trained them to think time is more important than quality.
Exactly. Yeah.
We do quality. We hire more experienced cleaners that can work at the pace they like to work at. And the more experience they have, the faster they are because they don't want to mess around. So we know that works, but yeah, they're also just typically not your ideal clientele. And you'll eventually, once you reach your SEO point where you're getting your ideal clientele, they genuinely don't care about time. They only care about quality. If anything, they want them faster because they're working from home, running their companies. Right? Like, get out of my house. That's what we're like. We're like, oh my God, can you just I don't want somebody puttering their way through cleaning the house. Yeah. So that's great.
There's definitely part of it. You sort of get to learn a lot about people. I think it's the one thing. I think initially I almost forgot about it. Like initially I had that anxiety answering the phone. I almost didn't want to chat in person, so like forced everything to text, but you quickly get over that as well.
That's good. We had somebody actually post recently in the community about being an introvert and asking for advice, like how do you overcome this anxiety about answering the phone? And then you realize it is just time. To answer that question, it's just time. You just have to spend more time talking to people, and some people are crazy, but the majority of people are great.
Exactly.
And you're solving a genuine problem they have, which is they need a cleaner that's going to show up and get the job done. It's a really simple problem. And so it doesn't have to be rocket science. It doesn't have to be hard.
Exactly. There's not really some type of magic formula that's like gonna, unlock everything. It's just like such a simple formula that you just need to reapply.
Especially when you're used to like actually hard jobs. I think, like you're probably with data analysis, you're dealing with like, this whole other world, I imagine anyway. And I know for me as a former school teacher, I can remind myself like, nobody's going to die. There's no, I'm not causing long-term childhood trauma to these people. Like, I don't lose sleep over it. I used to my first year, but now like, God, I sleep like a baby. It's so easy. Because, frankly, we can pay our bills, which helps.
That's true. You get those responses to reviews and you like are shocked for a moment and you're like, I can't believe this person said this,
Yeah. And then it's like, whatever. I love my 1-star reviews just as much as I love our 5-star reviews. So, it all works for getting eyeballs to our business. That's all that matters.
It is.
All right. Well, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate you and all of the support in the community. You have actually helped so many people who have struggled with this Google thing. And so I just really want to thank you for that, because I know, I've been able to just kind of keep saying to people, go talk to Stephan. If he can do it in South Africa, you can do it in the US. And I know so many of them have been so grateful, and they'll send me notes afterwards being like, oh my God, his stuff worked. I'm like, yay. So thank you.
I'm happy to help. Yeah, send them my way and then find me on the community. I'll help out where I can.
Well, what we should do is ask them all to write you reviews to help you rank higher on your own Google. So I'll put a little plug into the community saying, hey guys, this guy helps a lot. How about we all, review?
I've got a second location where I'm sort of tracking that now. So getting the unknown ones, sort of getting just as harvesting my reviews on another location. So sort of an unlisted one as well, or unverified one.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so send that my way, and I'll do what I can from Canada. I don't know how helpful it is when we're in different geographic locations. I do find Google usually doesn't publish them, but you never know.
Yeah.
Might as well try.
Try.
Exactly. All right. Well, thank you so much. And thank you to the live audience for being here. Anyone else watching this not live, please do leave us a comment. I'm sure Stephan will check it. I'll definitely check it. And we do actually, write the responses ourselves. So we will see you in the community. Bye.
Bye.
And the stream